What's going on, guys? It is Royalty Crypto and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be talking about the token World Liberty Finance, which was suggested by one of my subscribers. I don't personally hold this coin, but I do believe it has some potential, and I just wanted to talk about a couple different things. So when you take a look at what this coin does, they are basically a project that is offering a dollar peg stablecoin called USD1. So they're essentially trying to compete with Tether and Circle and those other companies. And they also hold quite a bit of different crypto assets. As you can see here, they're currently holding $400 to $430 million in Ethereum. And they also hold different tokens such as Avalanche, Mantle, Tron, Chainlink, and Ondo, a couple others. I think that the main reason why you would want to hold a coin like this is just because they are associated with the Trump family. I know Eric Trump talks about them quite a bit on social media, and Donald Trump has mentioned them several different times. I know that recently Eric Trump was removed from the board, I believe just because there was some conflicts with their political stuff. But nonetheless, they are still associated with them, which is definitely a positive thing. So I think that this coin does have potential to have quite a decent run here in the next couple of months if an altcoin season does start. The biggest downside to this coin, in my opinion, is the fact that they only have about 25% of the tokens in circulation. As you can see here, their current market cap is 3.18 billion. However, their fully diluted market cap is nearly 13 billion. So it's not really a short-term issue, but if you're planning on holding this coin for, a long time, there is going to be quite a bit of inflation with it. And that's personally why I don't hold this coin. But yeah, I think just because of the fact that this coin has so much hype, because of the Trump family and just such a following on social media, I still do believe that we could have a good run. Also, as you can see here, the 24-hour volume is pretty solid for a coin with a $3 billion market cap, sitting at just under 200 million for the past 24 hours. So that's a good sign. I would say that best case scenario with this coin, with the current tokenomics, we could see probably a $30 billion market cap, which would be a 10x from here. So I think we could potentially see a $1.30 World Liberty Finance if the market really does heat up, and if the Trump family continues to talk about this. So yeah, it could be worth holding if you're willing to take that risk. Let's take a look at their X account. So they have 770,000 followers on X, which is fantastic. And basically all of their posts have very, very good engagement. As you can see, the last post that they had on October 10th wasn't anything too crazy. They were just talking about how they were buying $10 million worth of their own coin. And you can see they got 500 retweets on that and over 2,000 likes with 317,000 views. So that's fantastic. You do like to see that. But ultimately, guys, this coin is following what the market does, especially because they have so much Ethereum. So you really need Ethereum and Bitcoin to do well to see a nice run on this coin. I do believe it is a good time to purchase altcoins like this. As you can see, we are currently sitting at a 33 out of 100 on the Fear and Greed Index. So we are sitting in fear. I personally only like to buy altcoins when we are in fear on this chart, because when you buy into fear and sell into greed, you win more often than not. So yeah, I think that now is a good time to be buying. And let's take a look at some crypto news from today. So the Federal Reserve, this was kind of a surprise. I believe this was announced on Monday, so just yesterday. But the Federal Reserve hosted its first ever crypto conference today, which is quite amazing to see. It really goes to show how bullish and how pro crypto our government has turned on crypto in the past 6 months or so. Just last year, back when Biden was still in office, we would have never seen anything like this. And if it was a crypto conference, it would have been something negative. But this was far from it. As you can see here, the U.S. Federal Reserve hosted a first-of-its-kind conference today on payments innovation. For the first time, cryptocurrencies will be a part of the official agenda, which you love to see there. One of the things that they talked about here is the panel predicts what's in store for tokenization in the next 5 years. Franklin Templeton CEO Jenny Johnson compared the pace of tokenization to other technological shifts. Technology adoption is always slower than people expect, and then it just takes off. She said, adding that central banks in Asia and Europe are already experimenting with blockchain-based settlement systems. So that's fantastic to see, guys. If we start to experiment that with our own Federal Reserve, it's going to be incredibly bullish for crypto. All right, and then another thing I wanted to take a look at was the liquidation heat map for Bitcoin. So we have seen just insane amounts of volatility over the past 2 days in particular, and the main reason for that is just because there's been so many shorts and so many longs that we've been liquidating. This has been quite a trend with crypto for really the last couple of years. Um, so yeah, as you can see today, we started to liquidate some of the shorts, and then Trump had a tweet that was about how he's now not going to meet with China again with the tariffs, which now then started to liquidate some of the longs. I'm not worried about Trump's tariff situation whatsoever. I definitely believe that will be resolved, hopefully within the coming weeks. But in the meantime, whenever he does tweet something negative about that, just expect the market to dump. And that's exactly what we saw today. So yeah, overall, I wouldn't be too scared about that. I still think that the likely scenario in the next probably 1 to 2 weeks is that we're going to start to liquidate a lot of these short traders. As you can see here, we have significantly more shorts open than longs. We currently have $4 billion that would be liquidated from short traders if we were to surpass 129,000 for Bitcoin. And we only have 200 million in longs if we were to dump all the way down to 100,000. So I think it's much more likely that these exchanges will start to target the short traders here. So be on the lookout for that. I also think that the bears are very confident right now. They think that the 4-year cycle is essentially saying that Bitcoin is going into a bear market. However, with all the bullish things that we're seeing in the macro right now, I just don't see that happening. So I think really the next bullish catalyst that we're going to see, besides the macro stuff like rate cuts and all that, is just the fact that I think the 4-year cycle will be invalidated in the coming weeks. Because if we were to push up to an all-time high with Bitcoin, that would essentially invalidate the 4-year cycle, which I think would invalidate the bear thesis that a lot of people have right now. Just because the 4-year cycle stated that the all-time high for Bitcoin should happen on the 6th of October, which it did, but it shouldn't happen again after that for quite some time. So yeah, just be on the lookout for that. But yeah, we already kind of talked about Bitcoin, but we did reach all the way as high as 113,000, pretty much 114,000 this morning, and we have pulled back down to 110.5. Ultimately, though, we do seem like we're starting a new uptrend, which is good to see. Ethereum's holding up pretty well here. It was above 4,000 this morning. We are back down at 3,930, so not too much of a concern. And it does seem like the top for gold is probably in. I know I can't make that claim just yet, but we have seen kind of a double top here and quite a decent pullback to the $4,100 range. And I think it's pretty likely that if gold starts to pull back into the 3,000s, that a lot of that money that people made will rotate into crypto, which is incredibly bullish for us. But yeah, guys, that's going to do it for today. I hope you found this video helpful, and I will see you tomorrow. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.